And you participated in Pat Farmer's run for the Yes campaign.
Absolutely.
The latest news poll indicates the referendum's doomed. What do you make of that?
Look, I really question. Again, the polls, I guess we will see if they're correct or not on the 14th of October. I can only speak to my experience. My experience on the ground is incredibly positive, and I've done the run, I've done events, I've done 2 forums, 1 online, I've done market stalls, and I would say my feedback is about 7 out of 10 positive on the street. So
in your electorate?
Sure, in my electorate.
But you would have a yes voting electorate, don't you think?
Well, again, I don't know. Some of those polls...
The North Shore?
Well, I would hope so. I think we are a progressive, and I think caring about this issue, obviously I've taken the Uluru Statement to the last 2 elections and promised that I would support a referendum and support the voice. So I guess that's not a surprise from my point of view for Warringah, but my feeling on the ground and my feedback from a lot of people is positive. So I think we have 6 weeks, and I urge everyone to get out, have the conversation, and can I say, if in doubt, find out.
What do you think of Peter Dutton's call for a second referendum?
I think it's quite hypocritical, to be honest, because from my perspective, the Coalition have been in government for 9 years. So if they were genuine about achieving constitutional recognition, they had the opportunity. In fact, I met with Minister Ken Wyatt in the last Parliament very shortly after the election in 2019, asked him what could I do to help him progress constitutional recognition and the voice within his government. He indicated it was difficult in the Coalition party room. I can see that with the kind of Dutton's No campaign. So look, I just don't believe it's a genuine commitment. And at the end of the day, we have to think constitutional recognition on its own has the risk of being tokenistic because it's not accompanied with what in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander
might be successful though, whereas this might not, because people are worried about a voice being permanently enshrined, right?
But a voice is an opportunity to express an opinion about policies. So I think we've absolutely blown out of proportion what the voice will do, and it's that fine balance between being effective without being an overreach on power.
How do you think Peter Dutton's stance on this issue in particular and other issues will go down in the so-called teal seats he wants to win back?
I don't think his leadership is viewed in a positive way, is the best way I could put it. I think he is viewed as very negative, not constructive. He hasn't come to the table on any meaningful policy when it comes to climate change, transition, protecting the environment, even the approach to many of the areas the government's bringing forward when it comes to the IR law. It's kind of an all or nothing no. It's not a constructive, let me work with you to come up with a better solution for all involved. So I can't say I have any positive feedback from the community about his leadership.
Now, you say you and your independent colleagues aren't a party. Do you caucus at all? Sometimes you meet ministers at the same time with questions on issues, though, don't you?
Absolutely, because if I could remind you, during the election, the call was too many independents and we will have a disorganised and it will be chaos in Parliament.
Do you have meetings, though? Do you, when I say caucus, do you actually meet over issues?
We meet as an entire crossbench to discuss the business of the week.
So that would include Pocock, etc. That would, yeah.
Of course, we want to know what's happening to the business.
But it wouldn't include Jackie Lambie or Pauline Hanson.
Well, all are invited. Oh. All are invited because we want to know, for example, when we're putting pressure on the government to move amendments in the House, if they're not, we often get the answer, we will address it in the other place. So we want to make sure that everyone is aware of the improvements that can be done to legislation. But look, taking briefings together from ministers is simply being productive and cost-effective in not asking a minister to repeat 7 briefings.
Your best hope to be effective, I guess, is for minority government, isn't it? So actually it's better for you if Anthony Albanese's stocks go a bit south so you get to that situation. Would you agree?
Look, my role is to represent Warringah and to hold government to account and to get the best outcomes possible, working with both sides. I think at the end of the day, we still need to progress a lot. Right, on a lot of policy areas. So for me, I want to see change on key areas and I will pressure whoever is in government.
Zali Steggall, independent member for Warringah, thanks very much for your time this afternoon.